Very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Tornado Talk, where we talk all things Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Having another exciting show on tap for you this evening. We're going to be talking women's soccer, football, men's soccer at depth. And tonight's a interesting night because we're coming fresh off the links. The 14th annual BC Tornadoes Open went down earlier today, and fantastic event. Really appreciate all the sponsors of that event, all the golfers who participated, Lake Toxaway Country Club, just an incredible location for the event, Reg Heinisch making that possible, and just a spectacular day out at the golf course. So thanks everyone who was involved with that. Do want to thank all of our sponsors of Brevard College Tornado Athletics who support us year round, including Pardee UNC Healthcare, Arby's, BSN Sports, eGolf Ford of Brevard, Hampton Inn, Ingles, Jets Pizza, Pardee Sports Medicine, Pepsi, Sully Steamers, Triangle Stop, and Young Transportation. Do want to give a special recognition to Pardee Sports Medicine and Southeastern Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the official healthcare provider for Brevard College Athletics. In addition to the outstanding quality of care provided by the orthopedic doctors, Pardee also offers care in the areas of oncology, cardiovascular, primary care, and several subspecialties. Pardee Sports Medicine, proud partners with Brevard College Athletics. Well, I want to catch you up real quickly around the world of the Tornado Athletic Program. First, football, big win over the weekend, a 24-10 win over LaGrange at Islamel Family Field. Big bounce back after a defeat at Huntingdon, and the win over LaGrange gets the Tornadoes back in their winning ways. Some breaking news this afternoon. Obadiah Grimes, USA South Defensive Rookie of the Week, and Stamati Damalos named USA South Special Teams Player of the Week. So congratulations to those two student athletes. Tornadoes football will be back in action this Saturday at Maryville. That's at 2 p.m. And then football senior day, come on out to Islamel Family Field November the 5th. Saturday, November the 5th, 1 p.m. versus Bell Haven. Volleyball had a win over the weekend over Mary Baldwin, 3-0. They will finish up their season on the road this week. We had senior day last week honoring Grace Pukas of the volleyball program. So congratulations to the volleyball team coming down their home stretch, coming off that win over Mary Baldwin. Brevard College cross country will be at the USA South Conference Championships this weekend. Best of luck to the Brevard College runners. Men's soccer, a 1-0 win over Warren Wilson at Islamel Family Field last week. And then the Tornadoes will be back in action this week versus Greensboro. That's Wednesday at 7 p.m. at Islamel Family Field, one of your last opportunities to see the Tornadoes. And then the regular season finale, 2 p.m. Saturday versus William Peace. That's also senior day for the Tornadoes. Women's soccer had a 1-0 win over Salem since we saw you last. And then they'll be in action this Tuesday at Pfeiffer. That's tomorrow. And then women's soccer senior day. That's this Saturday at 5 p.m. versus William Peace. So you can get both men's and women's soccer senior days all in one double feature on Saturday. Hope to see you there at Islamel Family Field. And with that, we're going to bring in our first guest of the evening. As joining us now, head women's soccer coach Juan Mascaro Sr. Coach Mascaro, thanks for joining the program.
Thanks for having us, Phil.
And also with us, associate head coach Juan Mascaro Jr. Coach Jr., thanks for joining the show.
Glad to be here. Thanks, Phil.
Well, we'll start with you, Coach Mascaro Sr. Before we get started, we kicked off today's show talking about the BC Tornadoes Open, the 14th year. We've had this event. You are in multiple roles here at Brevard College, and you've been around this program for many of those years, and you've seen it, grow and so forth. But I'd love to hear your comments on just how important that event is year in, year out to the Tornadoes.
Oh, it's been critical to the program, Phil. We started that golf 14 years ago, and it's amazing how it's grown. Our athletic department do a phenomenal job with it. The setting of it is just amazing. I have a couple of friends that play in it, and they play in a couple of good tournaments, and they say that by far that is the best tournament they play all year round. So it's a great tournament. It means so much for our program. The funds help with so many needs. So we're just excited to have it, excited to have it at Lake Taxaway. Like you said, Reg Heinisch gives us the opportunity to be there, and the setting is just magnificent. I'm not a big golfer, so I go in the morning just to see it off, and the setting is just spectacular.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Coach, and I can attest to that after seeing it this afternoon as well. No doubt about it. Well, Coach Juan Mascaro Jr. joining us as well. Coach, let's start with this past couple weeks since we had you on last. There was this 6-game unbeaten streak that included 4 ties in the middle of that, and then you're able to get the win over Mississippi University for women. Couple games later, a win over Salem. Couple results you weren't happy with in the middle of all that as well. But Coach Junior, kind of get us caught up as far as this State of the Union, where this team's at in this journey.
Yeah, so I would say we're kind of on the home stretch. Final stretch of the regular season. So we've got, we're traveling to Pfeiffer tomorrow, Tuesday, and then we conclude the regular season at home with William Peace. Definitely plenty to play for. I mean, tomorrow's game is important, and the players know that. And we just want to finish the regular season strong and secure our spot for the conference tournament.
And on a similar note, Coach Juan Mascaro Sr., this juncture of the season, this group of players, can you kind of, give us your take, your feelings as far as where we're at and what's ahead still?
Yes, Phil. I think that we got to take it one step at a time. We had a team meeting today, and we're talking about the importance of tomorrow's game, and that would secure us a spot on the tournament. And then we got to look forward. And then you look forward to the next game, which is, okay, where do you place? Who's doing what? I mean, there's a lot of, there's 6 points still out there to go get. So that will put us in some spot. But then again, it's one day at a time. And I think tomorrow is a critical day for us. I think the team knows that, they understand it, and they're going to be ready to go get the 3 points.
Coach, I would like to look ahead beyond the one game at a time in this respect. This Saturday is Senior Day, where we'll be honoring this year's senior class, including seniors like Aliyah Vaughan, Jessica Tenhai, Emma Gooch, Alyssa Hetherington. There's a couple graduate students as well as part of the roster. I'd love to hear your comments on this group in particular, their leadership skills and just their contributions to Brevard College women's soccer.
It's like with every year that goes by, Phil. I think the seniors deserve so much recognition because they when you're a senior in the soccer team, you put in a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be here for 4 years and play soccer for 4 years, be a student for 4 years, and some of them are going to be 5 years. So it is a lot of work on their part. I think there's a lot of commitment to the school and to the program. And we're grateful for that, and we're grateful for all their efforts, and we wish them nothing but the best in their future endeavors.
Coach Junior, your first year working directly with the women's soccer program after several years on the men's side, what's your vantage point in terms of this group of seniors, these leaders on this year's team, and how important that is to have that veteran presence when you have a young roster as part of the equation as well?
Yeah, I mean, having the experience that our 5th-year students and then our graduate students bring, I think it helps the younger players, mature. They have somebody to look up to. They have an example, somebody to emulate as they progress from underclassmen to upperclassmen. And for me personally, it's just I wish I had more time. You wish you had more time with them, and you wish you could keep them for longer, but they've got to graduate and start their careers and start pursuing their professional goals and start their lives. So, I think they're ready. I think they've come to the program and they've grown from 18-year-old young adults to now, in their early 20s, ready to start careers. So I'm excited to see what they do in the next couple of years after they graduate.
And Coach Mascaro Sr., I haven't spoken to you since homecoming on this program. And, you know, these seniors become alumni of the program. And, you know, I know you've seen several over the years. We've got several Hall of Fame plaques involving the women's soccer program. Can you reflect back on just sort of the legacy that's being left each time one of these senior classes graduates?
You know, it is the proudest moment. You know, people ask all the time, you know, when you're in the coaching profession, you know, people normally ask you, you know, what is the proudest moment? You know, what game was the most exciting to win and all that. And really, you know, the game is not the really most exciting part. To me, is the relationships you build with the kids, and they last forever. You know, I had after homecoming, the next season, the next week, when the men were playing Warren Wilson, we had two men's soccer alumni come visit. They played for me and graduated in 2010. So they're out, you know, 12 years, and they still come, and you know, we spend great 2 hours with them. And, you know, I have kids that I have a relationship for, you know, 20 years, 25 years. And that is really the most valuable thing, is those relationships. And then when you see them progress in their careers and in life, and they get married, they have kids. I mean, it's just great. I mean, we're very fortunate to work in this environment. We're fortunate to be able to help young adults become young men and women that would lead the future.
And Coach Juan Mascaro Jr., yourself, along with the two assistant coaches on the staff, all alumni as well of Brevard College, Rebecca Rojas and Sally Riggin. Can you speak as an alum, you know, and as a soccer alum, you know, just how special this bond is and how it's everlasting in so many ways?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's for life. You know, you have a special connection to the school and to the program. You know, for me, having played for the program and now working for the program, it's very special because you see it develop, and you're kind of part of that development and growth of the program and the college. And so it's really special that I can contribute, you know, to the progress that we're making as a program. And it's really special when you have people that played with you and old teammates, you know, itching to come back, wanting to see kind of, you know, what we have going on. And so in that respect is really special. And then, you know, just the bonds that you make and the people that you meet here. I've always said that the people that we have here at the college, they're very special people. You know, I made friends for life while I was a student here. And so it's yeah, like I said, it's very special now being part of it as part of the coaching staff.
Very good. Head women's soccer coach Juan Mascaro Sr., associate head coach Juan Mascaro Jr. Coaches, if you can stick around just a few more moments, we're going to bring in some student athlete guests. By the way, folks, this team will have its regular season finale at Islamel Family Field on Saturday versus William Peace. That's at 5 p.m. It includes a senior day celebration. Juan Mascaro Sr., help us introduce these three outstanding student athletes to NATO Nation.
Absolutely. We have three great ones for NATO Nation today. We have Aliyah Vaughan, you know, fifth year, has put up with us for 5 years. It's been a joy to have. Then we have Lena Hatter on her third year, and Olivia Little on her second year. So they're very special kids, hardworking kids, and you're going to enjoy them.
Outstanding. Coach Mascaro Jr., anything to add about these three?
They're a fun group. I mean, they hardworking kids, very dependable kids. I mean, they're fun to be around, and it's a pleasure really a privilege to get to coach them every day.
Very good. Well, best of luck tomorrow with the big road trip at Pfeiffer. We'll see you back here at Islamel Family Field on Saturday for Senior Day. Head coach Juan Mascaro Sr., associate head coach Juan Mascaro Jr., thanks for joining the program.
Thank you for having us, Phil. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Phil.
All right, there they go. All right, so women's soccer, as the coaches helped us introduce these three. In the bottom left corner, Olivia Little. Olivia, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
And in your bottom right location, Lena Hatt. Thanks for joining the show, Lena.
Thank you for having me, Phil.
And Aliyah Vaughan, one of the seniors that's going to be honored this weekend. Aliyah, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Aliyah, let's start with you because, this Saturday, it's here suddenly, senior day already, and I'd love to hear from your perspective what that feels like to be, we're looking ahead already to your senior day. You've been a part of these, as an underclassman, but now you're going to be one of the ones honored. What are the feelings that have been going through your head?
So I'm very nervous, but I'm so excited to graduate and end the career with these women. Especially, we talk about Lissa and Emma White, and we're like the last one standing, and they call us like grandmas. And Coach would said a couple minutes ago was, they look up to us. And since like my freshman year, I looked up to their seniors, and now our freshmen and transfers that are coming in, it's amazing to see them going to grow and see and look up to us as a seniors. So I'm really excited to end my career with these ladies, and hopefully see you guys on the field, watching you guys from on the stands now. So yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, we'll go ahead and start this celebration now, if it's okay with you, Aliyah. Really looking forward to it. Lena, love to hear your comments. I'm sure you remember, just a couple years ago, you came in as a freshman. You needed, I'm sure that the guidance of the upperclassmen, the juniors, the seniors, and so forth. And now here we are, another senior day. Can you talk about this class and how important they've been to your career?
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, it's crazy that it's already here, but we got so close to each other during our COVID year because, I mean, we were just, we were in cohorts and we were just like stuck living with each other. But we just got so close through that year, and our team is close in general. So we've just had that same connection throughout all these years, and I'm going to miss them so much. I can't talk about it too much because it makes me tear up a little bit, but I'm very excited to see what these ladies have to do in their futures.
Absolutely. We'll hand it over to Olivia Little, the sophomore from Warner Robins, Georgia. Olivia, similar question, whether it's yourself last year as a freshman, this year's incoming freshman class, it's so important to have, strong leadership, as far as these players have been around. I won't quite call them grandmas like you guys do, but yeah, like that veteran presence matters. Care to comment?
I love having them on and off the field. They're great friends. They're great players. Every Cracker Barrel trip, there's a grandma mug that everyone points out. It's great to have them. Seriously, I don't know what I'd do without them.
Wow, I feel like we've got to bring a rocking chair out on Saturday for the senior day celebration with this theme here. But back to business. The team is heading on the road tomorrow, a big road trip to Pfeiffer, coming down the home stretch in conference play. I know you all have been working hard preparing, for this week. Also, you've heard from your coaches. Aliyah, let's start with you, the senior. What's going to be the key this week, to the Tornadoes succeeding and heading into the postseason?
So the big key that we have is like one, that we are a family. And that's like the thing about that we have that is strong. As well, like me being injured and seeing like the difference between the defenders, and like they work together, and then the mids are working together, and then we have the attacks working together. The key with them, it's always like a lot of our players always ask like, so how is this other team gonna, like, what is their score, what is their records and stuff? And I always say, like, it doesn't matter what the score is on other teams, it's how you play that game. And it's one of the biggest keys of, like, we can have one player that's down one day, and then we have a player that comes in and changes the game every time. So I think we're going to have a big nervous, but we're not going to be a reckless team. But I think we're going to have a good luck for tomorrow and stuff. And biggest key is we just got to work together and talk. So I think that's one of the things that we just need to work on.
Lena, when you all are clicking as a team, whether it's on offense or defense or all of the above, what's the key to that? When you guys are really, playing your game and getting the upper hand on the opponent.
We are playing our game when we're working hard for ourselves and working hard for each other. That's like, I think of course, you have the simple things like completing your passes, good clears out of the box, stuff like that. But when we're working hard for each other, that's like, you can't beat it. You can't beat it.
And Olivia, anything to add to that as far as, the key to a successful game or season for the Tornadoes?
I think as of right now, it's just going to take heart. I think we all have it. We just need to demonstrate that on the field. And as of recently, we have. But I think not only, like Lena said, we need to play for ourselves, but I'm also going to be playing for the seniors that are going to be leaving soon. I just know when I left high school, just knowing that I'm going to be leaving is hard. But now college, it's a completely different thing. You're done. It's over. And I just can't imagine.
That's a great point as far as a motivating tool, inspiration for the rest of the roster. Well, would love NATO Nation to learn even more about each of you on a personal level as well. And Aliyah, the senior from Lakeland, Florida, tell us a little bit about your journey, Aliyah, coming up in Florida, getting serious about soccer at some point, and ultimately ending up here at Brevard College.
So being all the way from Florida was a big step. Especially I told my parents, I said, I want to go out of my comfort zone. I want to go somewhere where it has the four seasons and the mountains and stuff. And I never knew about Brevard. The only thing I found out Brevard was I had a friend that came here and she's like, Aliyah, like, this is a great opportunity to come here to Brevard and play soccer as well. And learning from Megan Shina and all them as their seniors and coming up here and learning from them, and then now being a super senior, and now that I'm giving what my education was to the freshmen and the new people that come in, and the education here, I love it so much. Everything is hands-on. I love the job opportunities that I have so far, and it's just amazing to be here at Brevard College and to play under Juan Mascaro and to like look at futures with this team, and so it's amazing. And I could say so much about like Brevard, but I'm going to stop where I'm at right now. So.
And Lena Hatter, the junior from Indiana-Atlantic, Florida, over in that kind of Melbourne, Cape Canaveral area of the state. Lena, tell us about your journey as well, ultimately finding Brevard College and how it's been so far as a Tornado.
Kind of similar to Aliyah from Florida, just wanting to come up here, different scenery, just a change. I also told my parents that I would not play soccer in Florida anymore because it is just too hot. So I came up here, we kind of had a rocky start, I will say, because we couldn't play soccer my freshman year when we came in because of COVID. But since then, everything's kind of started to open up a little bit more, and it's just like my experience has been amazing here. Cannot ask for anything more.
Outstanding. And Olivia Little, the sophomore from Warner Robins, Georgia. Same question for you, Olivia. Tell us about how you found Brevard College and what the experience has been like so far.
Well, I had actually already committed to another college, not for soccer purposes, but I had committed there, and I had graduated high school early, so I was at work, and I wanted to go watch my high school friends finish their game. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to remind me how much I miss soccer. And with that thought, 30 minutes later, I had actually gotten an email from our past assistant coach, Chelsea, with an email regarding, hey, I have 4 spots. Why don't you come check us out? And I was like, this is a sign. I have to take it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I came here and I committed the day I came. I felt welcome. I love the scenery. Just it all felt welcome. And then to play soccer again was just a bonus.
Outstanding. I love stories like those with the serendipity of it all. Before we let you all go, would like to take things into the classroom. Aliyah, tell us what you've been working on, the degree, what you got planned next.
So my degree is criminal justice, minor in pre-law. Freshman year, I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to do exercise science and coaching. And I started looking at criminal justice side and I fell in love with it. It was, like I said, it's hands-on. All of the professors are retired officers, not law enforcement, lawyers and stuff, and great opportunities fall off of criminal justice. And I have a lot of job offers for that, and the opportunity for for the criminal justice is amazing. And I told so many people, like they're always asking Aliyah, like, what kind of major do you like? What is to hear? Like, is business good for you? Like, and I always say, like, criminal justice is a great, opportunity. And it's not just for being a cop, it's for like being a lawyer. And so next semester, I'm going to be doing a juvenile justice system. So I'll be working with juveniles in like courts and stuff. So it's a great opportunity to spread out and see not just becoming a cop. So I have 2 options coming up right now. So hopefully I can decide by next semester.
Outstanding. Best of luck with that, Aliyah. Lena, tell us what you're up to in the classroom.
I am a health science major. I'm just taking, all the classes I have to take, and I'm hoping to go to med school after I graduate. So I'm also looking forward to studying for the MCAT soon. So that's school and studying in soccer.
Very good. And Olivia Little, catch us up on what you are working on in the classroom.
I'm an art major here at Brevard. I went back and forth my freshman year with a history major and an art major, and I actually decided to become a history major the second semester of being a freshman. And I love history, but nothing could stop my love for art. And so I wanted to continue on with that. While money is like not a priority for me, I do want it to take some part. So I hope to become something with this art major degree and make a lifestyle that's livable and enjoyable.
Outstanding. Well, before we let the 3 of you go, always do want to allow for the opportunity. Any shout outs or thank yous you may have, anyone who perhaps may have helped you along the way, may or may not be watching this program, who knows, in this world of cyberspace. But Aliyah, Vaughan, the floor is yours.
I just want to give a really big shout out to my parents. They're watching right now, so hey. And as well as to my teammates. I can see the comments going right now, and I just want to give a big shout out to all of them. Like, you guys are the one things that make me want to be here at Brevard. So I want to thank you guys, and yep.
Awesome. Well done, Aliyah. As the comments come flooding into the chat box here. Lena Hatter, same opportunity for you. Shout outs or thank yous?
Just hey Jess, love you too. Just my friends and family back home would not be here today without them pushing me. My coaches, my club coaches, my high school coaches, my current coaches and teammates. Just all of my support system, people that just want to see me succeed. I wouldn't be here without them. So love you guys.
Nice. Well done. Olivia Little, shout outs or thank yous?
Absolutely. My family, they have gotten me here. There's my aunt right there. I love my family. They have supported me every step of the way, as well as the new teammates that we've gained this year and old teammates from previous. I couldn't have it better.
Outstanding. Olivia Little, Lena Hatter, Aliyah Vaughan. You have a chance to see these ladies and the women's soccer team in action one more time this Saturday as the comments continue to flood in here to Tornado Talk. The women's soccer program always seems to bring the action in the comment boxes. And do want to just remind folks, it is an interactive program. Type away, let us know what you're thinking about NATO Nation. But congratulations, ladies, on your season thus far. We can't wait to see what's next. Can't wait to see you out on the field on Saturday. Looking forward to it. And great job this evening on Tornado Talk.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
All right, there they go. So we're going to shift gears very quickly here, and we're going to head to the gridiron because we are coming off an impressive win for Brevard College Tornado football, and there's another big game to come this weekend as we invite into the program our next guest, as Coach Martin Bayless is here in the building, general manager of Brevard College football, amongst other duties. Coach Bayless, thanks for joining the show.
How you doing, Phil?
Outstanding, thank you, and looking forward to this conversation with you, Coach. But first things first, I would like to recap this past weekend, a 24-10 win over LaGrange, a huge fourth quarter where the Tornadoes took control 14-0. A big day on the ground for Dalton Cole, who's going to be a guest on the program later. And our other guest on the program had the go-ahead touchdown, a 73-yarder, Chancellor Lee Parker. But all sorts of highlights. A couple players won USA South Conference honorees as well today. But would love to hear from your perspective, Coach, just how critical that win was, but also what it took for the Tornadoes to get the victory.
Well, first of all, Phil, every victory is a hard-fought game in this conference. There's a lot of good football programs in this conference, and we like to think that we're one of the top ones in the conference. But people put things on social media and out there in the media. But at the end of the day, you got to win between the white lines. And our guys were able to get out fast against LaGrange. LaGrange has always given us problems. They're a good football program. They have a lot of talent. And, we seem to always be in a dogfight with them every time we play them. But it was great to see our guys come out the locker room real fast early in the first half. And then in the second half, LaGrange kind of caught up with us a little bit. But our guys showed a great deal of grit and perseverance in this game. And, we just kept banging away at them. They stayed close. And then after we got the 73-yard touchdown run, it kind of broke their back. And then, we were able to score another touchdown after that to kind of put them away. But it was a very hard-fought game by our guys. They practiced hard all week. They prepared well. And as a result of doing that, we got a good victory. And it leads us to our next opponent coming up this weekend in Maryville.
Yep, Maryville this weekend, USA South Conference play continuing for the Tornadoes. Coach, preview the Maryville matchup a bit for us.
Well, the one thing about Maryville, once again, they're a good football team in our conference. I believe they're 4-1 this year, so we're all battling for the championship here. Their team has scored a lot of points. If you look at the last two conference games they played, they've outscored their opponents offensively 106-14. So once again, our defense has their work cut out for them this weekend. I know they'll do a good job getting on that bus, driving up to Tennessee to see a tough Maryville team. It's going to be a good battle, and I expect our guys to prepare this week hard like they always do. And once you prepare hard and you have an idea of what you really want to get done in a game like this, I think our guys will overcome anything that happens. The unique thing about playing at Maryville is that they're a grass surface football team. And what people don't understand is that going from a turf field for some odd weeks and then transitioning over to a grass field, it's important that you're able to practice on grass and have a good practice for the 3 or 4 days that we got to go, because it's like, people who play, and it's weird in softball right now, but you see girls who are used to playing on on grass all the time. Then all of a sudden they came over this AstroTurf softball diamond with these brown patches of turf there. And the game is a lot faster on turf, and it's just a different game. So our guys will be prepared. We're always prepared. And it's going to be a good battle over in Tennessee this weekend.
Coach, one more item I'd like to kind of touch on, which is, I believe, a theme to this season, is the depth of the team and how different players are stepping up, whether, it be injury or just, competition in terms of personnel. But it feels like, we're seeing guys, second, third string on the depth chart suddenly with big games and playing in these critical roles and coming away with a win like the one we saw this past weekend in LaGrange, where guys who you might not be all that familiar with stepped up into some key spots.
Well, this football program is built around the next man up cliche. And, we preach that in practice, when we had a huge addition to newcomers on our football roster this year of about 100. We jumped up about 86 guys on our roster, which gave us a lot of depth. Even though there were some young players in that group, there were also some guys that were transferring in from other schools due to the transfer portal. So it's good to have depth. Every good football team has depth, and it's also a tribute to the coaching staff of being able to develop talent, because when guys come from different programs, obviously they're not familiar with our system, but the faster you can plug them in and the faster you can get them on the field, it always gives you an advantage. And, football's that way nowadays. People don't keep kids around for 3 or 4 years. The retention, especially at D3, is a little bit different than Division I and Division II because of non-scholarships. So, part of my role as the general manager on the roster is to try to find ways to retain our players and make sure that we have a roster with a stable of players who can come and play any given Saturday that we need them to play. So that's kind of the background behind the new guy stepping in, and they're making plays, and like anything else, it's good to see a bunch of young guys getting opportunities. Number one. And number two, it shows once again the quality of coaching we have on our staff, where we can get guys prepared to play on Saturday that may not have played the Saturday before.
And part of that depth as well is the JV football program, where this year it made its debut here at Brevard College. Coach, I know you're heavily involved. You oversee so much of that on the JV football side of things. Tell us about this first season. We had the Tornado Bowl on Sunday, wrapping things up with an inter-squad scrimmage. And I know a great experience for a lot of these student athletes, but would love to hear your perspective on year one of JV football at BC.
Well, the JV football concept has really been sitting on both my desk and Coach Kaya's desk for the last 3 years since I've been here. We always wanted to be able to take the next step and get a JV program in place, because what we do is we look at our competition. Methodist has a JV program. Huntington has a JV program. NC Wesleyan has a JV program. And, those teams have a number of athletes that they have at their fingertips to develop. If you don't have a JV program, what ends up happening is that you have kids who are in the program and may not get a chance to play to their junior year, and all of a sudden they show up and you go, where'd this guy come from? Where if you have a JV program, you can get guys ready and they can play football their freshman year, they can play football their sophomore year, competitive football against other programs. So when they do become juniors, they're so far advanced. And part of my role as the general manager is that I have a very large, what we call player development component to it. And that player development component encompasses the JV program. It also encompasses players' performance in the classroom, their behavior on and off the football field, and a slew of other things. So it's great to have a JV program. It's exciting. I know the fans love it. We've had great turnouts here at home. And more importantly is sometimes people look at the scoreboard and they say, okay, well, they didn't score a lot of points, or they didn't win the game. And what you must understand about JV football is in place to develop players. So that's the thing that we're focused on right now, is how can we accelerate the development of our guys so that they're ready to play on Saturday afternoon. So the JV program gives us that opportunity to accelerate that, and also gives us opportunity to retain players, because can you imagine a guy going to school here for 2 or 3 years and not getting to play football? Then all of a sudden they become Debbie Doubters. They don't feel good about themselves. But having a JV program, they can play their freshman year, see if they improve, play their sophomore year. And if they make the strides that we would like to see them make, they'll get to play as soon as possible. But for those who are not developed as fast, then they still have a way of playing every Sunday afternoon and getting better. And that's really what the crux of the JV program does for us. And once again, we're happy about it, and we're excited that we have the stable of kids. About 170 kids are in the program this year, and we're excited about that.
Very good. A hat tip to all of you who made that happen. It's not easy to administer, 2 football teams at once and that many student athletes. Well, Coach Bayless, incredible background. You've played in the NFL for over, a decade, and then you became a coach. Also have worked in front offices, most recently, part of the USFL this past spring. And you mentioned earlier our coaching staff here at Brevard College. And, we've talked plenty of times about yourself and, Coach Kyatt, Coach Lindsay, and, Coach Cruz, and some of these guys who have experienced, some of this NFL type experience. But where I'd like to go with it this time, Coach, is the diversity in the range of skills amongst your coaching staff. We've got guys who are recent alums of Brevard College who bring one thing to the table. We've got others who, have come from other top college programs in the country. And then we've got veterans like yourself on the staff as well. Love to hear from you as far as kind of the big picture and what makes this coaching staff so effective because of all those skill sets and experiences.
Well, once again, under under the general manager role, there are a few things, and it's layered from the player development piece of it to also the coach's development piece of it. So, one thing that Coach Kyatt and I talked about when I first came on staff was I use this term championship football. Okay. And what that means to us is that number one is developing people. And when you say develop people, you're talking about players. You're also talking about coaches. And when you have a staff like we have had here the last 3 years since I've been here, where you have some senior guys like myself, Coach Kyatt, and Coach Everett Lindsay, who have had some NFL experience as players and NFL experience as coaching. Then you have another level of player like a Garrett Groshek, a Ladarius Wiley, and a Rashard Nelson, guys who are young but have been in NFL uniforms. Most recently, two of those guys played in the USFL last year. One, Ladarius Wiley, played for me with the Philadelphia Stars, and Garrett Groshek, our running back coach, played for Coach Kyatt and with the Pittsburgh Maulers. So you have that level of guy who's played in the National Football League, played in the USFL as well, and have started their coaching careers young, who are very talented guys who have done an outstanding job this year. And then you have the graduates of Brevard College who have played in the program. Most recently, all of them played for Coach Kyatt, and then they had affinity for coaching, and they decided to get into coaching. So you have three levels of guys, but at the same time, the senior guys are trying to develop those guys as well. Try to give them coaching nuggets, coaching tips on how they can be a better coach. Because the one thing about coaching that people maybe misunderstand or don't know is two things. You got to be a great communicator because you are trying to command a room of young men who are sitting in the room waiting for you to empower them, waiting for you to tell them the instructions, waiting for you to give them the film, to give them the cut-ups, to prepare them for practice and prepare them for the next game. So you have to be relatively dynamic by putting together presentations, PowerPoints on the board. Kids learn in so many different mediums. You learn by talking to them. You learn by putting things on the eraser board. You learn by video. You learn by taking them on the grass and do walkthroughs. Then you learn by going out on the field and performing. So all those different I would say mediums that you have to teach through. As I say, football coaching is a discipline that you have to learn. So having some senior guys who have that discipline already and learned it, and then being able to pass that down to the next group of guys on our staff, it's really given us a great advantage. And we look forward every week. It's something new. It's a different challenge. Guys peak at different times in the coaching world. And we're excited about everybody on our staff because they've all done a good job. And, quite frankly, sometimes people think coaching is a 9-to-5 job when it's not a 9-to-5 job. Our guys come to work at 6:30 sometime in the morning, and then they go home at 8 or 9 at night. So it's a job that you got to get the work done, and whatever's sitting on your desk, you got to get it done, and you got to get it off your desk and move to the next day. So I'm really excited about our young guys because they love football. And when you love football, you can then empower other young men to love football. And that's been a success with our program, is that that love has started from the top down, and it continues to grow in our locker rooms. It continues to grow on the field every time we win, and our guys get confidence, and they can't wait to play the next Saturday. And so we're excited about going to Maryville. Maryville better be ready, because our guys are going to come out that locker room flying.
Very good, Coach. Well, if we can have you stick around just a couple more moments here, we'd love for you to be on board here as we introduce the student athletes from the football program here at Brevard College. So can you stick with us here, Coach, for just a minute?
Sure, not a problem. It'd be great.
Very, very good. As joining the show now in that left corner, Dalton Cole, and also Chancellor Lee Parker making his Tornado Talk debut. Coach Bayless, before we let you go, can you help introduce Tornado Nation, these two?
Okay, let's start with the guy. I guess I don't know whose left or right it is, but let's call him the ugly guy over there. Ugly guy with the mustache. That's the guy I'm talking about. Dalton Cole, our starting quarterback. Dalton has transitioned from, and I've been here for 3 years, and Dalton's been one of those guys like Tyson Hill with the New Orleans Saints, where he can play multiple positions. He's a talented athlete. And every time we get the ball in his hands, he has an ability to make things happen. So right now he's playing a quarterback position. Had a great game last week, and we're excited about his continued development at that position. And he gives us our best chance of winning football games right now playing that position. The second guy over here with the beanie hat on, I call him Chance the Rapper. He's a great guy. One of our, I saw him on practice one day on special teams, and that's where I first noticed him at, because, my expertise is special teams. But I see this guy flying down the field, and I'm talking to our special team coach now, Hoff, and I said, hey, you got to get that guy on the field, man. This dude is flying down the field, and he's reckless. And then next thing you know, he gets out there on the first game of the season, run down, makes the first tackle, and then got some good opportunities to run the ball on offense. And you guys have seen him. That's not his first big run for us this year. I mean, when this guy touches the ball, you got to beware. And I feel sorry for those DBs and those linebackers, because he don't run away from guys either. He runs right at them, runs over them, runs around them, and he's a talented kid, and we're happy to have him on our roster.
Very good. Well, Coach, we really enjoyed catching up with you and previewing this weekend's game versus Maryville, talking LaGrange, talking big picture as well. Thanks so much for joining the program, and thank you for all you bring to Brevard College.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Enjoy it. Enjoy the evening, and I'll sit back and wait for you guys. I'll listen to what you're talking about. Hopefully you guys don't tell no jokes about me or nothing.
All right. Very good. Thanks for joining the show, Coach Martin Bayless. And as Coach helped us introduce these two, Dalton Cole and Chancellor Lee Parker. Dalton, thanks for joining the program.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good to have you back with us. And Chancellor Lee Parker, welcome aboard Tornado Talk.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right, Chancellor, let's start with you, because Coach warmed us up for this first question, is that 73-yard go-ahead touchdown run. This game was tied 10-10, and then suddenly you bust that thing off, and, just the entire tone of the game changes. The stadium explodes. I mean, what a touchdown run. I don't know if you saw the replay, but this play-by-play announcer was going kind of nutso up in the booth as well. But Chancellor, from your perspective, how'd you make that happen? How did the team make that happen?
Well, I would say first thing first, it all started up front. The front did their job. I just did what they gave me. I saw it at the beginning of the game, how the line opened up, and we talked about it on the other sidelines and what word we communicated. And from here on out, I just said, oh, let's bounce it, because we found the weak spot in their defense. Like, they don't like to commit a lot. So from there on out, I just did what the O-line gave me. It was nothing like spectacular. Like, we just, they trusted me, and we was already having a kind of rough start with offense throughout the whole game. So, I just appreciate how they trusted me and to get the job done. But it really came from up front the whole time. Like, I just did my job. They did their job. It was nothing little, so spectacular.
Yeah, well, it was spectacular from this perspective. Dalton Cole, when there's big plays like that, it can change the momentum entirely. And, I'd love to hear from your perspective, what it meant to have run like that in the middle of the game while you're playing quarterback, but even more so just to have weapons like Chance?
Yeah, I mean, I've told Chance this probably like 4 or 5 times now. Watching him finally break that run, and it's like it was almost like a weight came off our shoulders. We were sitting there like a monkey on our back. It's 10-10 early in the fourth quarter, and seeing him break a few tackles and then outrun the rest of the defense and making it 17-10 was a huge like weight off the shoulders. And like I told him on the sidelines, like thanks. Like we've been struggling, we've been going like back and forth, whether it's bad plays like on my end throwing interceptions. Or 3 and outs, some miscommunications here and there. Just having him do that and just a knockout punch, really. That was it. That was a knockout punch. That was when the game changed. We had a pick just before that, and then he comes over there and just steps on the throat and just kind of ends it right there. Of course, the game wasn't over, but that's when everything changed, and it was like, okay, we're good. We got it.
And obviously a huge factor in this game was yourself, Dalton Cole, at that quarterback position in a career day rushing 18 carries, 177 rushing yards, a touchdown. I mean, you were just running right through guys, as if you were one of these, powerful tailbacks. I'd love to hear from your perspective as far as running the ball, Dalton. And, one of the things I've just kind of made a hypothesis about is your time, playing wide receiver, tight end, these different positions toughened you up as a runner perhaps and taught you a couple more things as far as, before yards after catch. But now, as a rushing quarterback, I mean, it was quite the rushing performance on Saturday.
Well, I mean, having 18 opportunities to do it was the biggest thing, having that chance to do it over and over and over again. I'm sure if you give Chance 18 times to see if might have a bigger number than 107, but playing receiver, especially with like my coach Rashad right now, Coach Rashad Nelson, Coach Bayless mentioned him, like he's preached ball security with me over and over, like how I carry it. It's not exactly conventional, but he's preached that over and over again to me, and making moves and all that stuff. Now, if you could tell, I'm not exactly the one to make most moves. I would rather just run straight downhill. Chance and I are alike in that aspect, but a lot of it goes like from the receiver standpoint. I know how my guys want to block. Like I've played receiver the last year and a half, and I know how they're blocking and like what they want to do and like how we're taught to block. So once you kind of get into the secondary, you know how to set things up, kind of run underneath your guys and like kind of set your guys up for success in the blocking situation, and then that helps you out as a runner. Seeing things like that coming from my end as the ball carrier makes things a lot easier.
And Chancellor Lee Parker, you're part of a great stable of running backs here at Brevard College, and a lot of different looks and sort of dimensions that each of you brings to the equation. Can you talk about your group as a unit, how tight you guys are, and also how you guys do bring different strengths?
Oh yeah, like I love this group. Like this is the best running back group I've ever been a part of. All of us share something unique. And the thing is, we're all so close in age, and so like chemistry, like all of us hang out off the field, on the field, and we just connect with each other. With Freddie, our little gut guy down the middle, DJ. I love how his speed, he like hitting to the outside because don't let his height fool you. Do not let his height fool you. I love the way he runs. He's like one of my favorite runners I've ever seen play all my years of football. Yoder, all around. Murray all around. I love this whole group. Smokey, we're a little duo when our little 2 running back personnel. Him and I are like a little duo. Like I'm usually his blocker, he's using my blocker. We switch out like there's so much diversity in this whole group, and I just love that. And then I like how the coaches utilize all of us, trying to make the most out of every single game. And after every game, none of us are satisfied because we just want the best. Like we're not going to stop till at least the entire running back group has 200 yards each a game. Like we're not going to be satisfied even after that.
Yeah, and Dalton, this offense, all sorts of versatility, and on all sorts of options, for you as the quarterback now, whether it be tight ends, different receivers who bring different things to the equation, this stable of running backs that Chance is talking about, and even yourself, as far as, your career playing multiple positions and so forth. Can you talk about the versatility of the Tornadoes and, how on any given Saturday, you're not sure who's going to be the star that day, but it can be yet another guy, and the depth as well.
Well, I think that's the part that makes things work. We don't really have like that guy. Like, there's no one guy that you're going to say that guy stands out over everyone else. Of course we have our starters, but that also goes with game planning, based on the week, depending on what the defense is bringing. If the defense is a little faster and smaller, we're going to want to pound the rock. So you see guys like Chance, Freddie Aikens more, they're going to be going more in the middle up the gut. If they're slower, bigger guys, we got a little bit more speedsters where we got DJ Taylor and Mitchell Yoder, those guys bounce outside. Of course, you saw Chance pull away from everybody, but all of our guys can do it. It's not just one guy doing one thing, but we do have guys that have a little bit more of a specialty within it, like Chance said. And then our receivers, those guys, again, coming from my group, I'm proud of them because as a receiver itself, it's hard mentally sometimes just to lock in and keep blocking over and over again. You may not be getting the ball as much as you want, out there, but every game come with the right attitude. All those guys, every guy in that room, they come with the right attitude, and that comes from Coach Nelson as well. Just getting us in the right headspace. Like, this is our job. This is what we got to do. And the rushing numbers speak for it. Offensive line, of course, we're not with the offensive line. They do their thing, of course, but we just have so much availability. There's never a bad piece to step in. There's no worry. Whoever walks in, whether it's a running back, a new lineman, we had 3 centers on Saturday. A new lineman, whatever the running back is, a receiver, me playing quarterback. Like, everyone's got faith in everyone to make a play. And that comes from just having trust in each other and everything like that.
Well said. Let's stick with you, Dalton, for one more here, which is, this is your 5th season as a member of the Tornadoes, and what a journey it's been. But we're coming down the home stretch here. There's just a few games left. We've got a senior day ceremony set versus Belhaven on November the 5th. I know you guys are laser focused on Maryville, but if you can just do a, NATO Nation sort of, a favor here and kind of take a step back for a second and reflect back a little bit on the journey altogether for you, Dalton.
It's been a ride. Starting off, committing to Brevard 2 days before the deadline to get into it. That's how everything started. It was hair on fire, trying to figure things out, getting eligibility and everything like that. But I mean, first 2 years having to learn really to play quarterback under Coach Cruz and like having to learn the position of itself. Coming from West Henderson, I handed the ball off. I didn't really have to read the defense much. So Coach Cruz did great with that. And then moving into the COVID year, of course, the bowl ring. Let's not skip over the bowl year. That was awesome. Having the bowl year going to Pennsylvania. But then the COVID year was wild. That's the year actually I began switching positions when Eli Carr took over, and we had a few guys, Stephen Hogan, come through after Eli got hurt and went down. But at that point, I was kind of bouncing between, like, we had packages where I'd play running back here and tight end there and receiver on this side, depending on whatever. And then the summer going into my first senior year, not my COVID senior year, my first senior year, that's when it was kind of like, now you're going to play receiver. The training's different. The coaching staff, we've had 3 different receivers coaches since I've been here. But Coach Kaya and Coach Cruz has been there, head of the offense the whole time, Coach Lindsay as well. So knowing what they want and what they kind of expect overall helped a lot. But like having those 3 different receivers coaches, even as I've only played receiver for 2.5 years, I've had 3 coaches. It's been weird getting used to all of them, but I think it's helped. I've learned a few things from some other guys that maybe not learned from the old guys. So it's been quite the ride. This year so far isn't exactly what we want. I hate having that loss to Huntingdon, down in Huntingdon, but we still have a chance to do what we want. We still have an opportunity. We only have 3 games left, but that's another thing a lot of us seniors keep talking about. There's only 3 left, and we got 1 more on Ives Lamel every year. So we'll see how it goes. All we can do is do our job and go 1-0 each week at a time. But yeah, it's been quite a ride. It's been eventful. So.
It's been fun being on the ride with you, Dalton Cohen. Chancellor Lee Parker, out of Auburn, Georgia, a transfer from Mars Hill. Tell us about how you found Brevard College and, what's it been like so far experience-wise here?
It's been a journey. It has been a journey. Like, I transferred out of Mars Hill last year in January, and I transferred to a school in Georgia Southern, hoping to become on their varsity roster, but it wasn't meant to be. And I was going through my emails at my Mars Hill account, and I saw Brevard one of the colleges, and they were they were emailing me, and I thought it was like a spam mail because you hear D3, you're like, oh, it's one of those spam mails. I'm like, wait, let me give it a shot. I do my research. I look into it. I look at the history of the school, the education, the psychology, like how their majors, because I'm a psychology major, trying to look through all aspects. And I'm like, okay, so it's a nice fit. Take a visit, better than I expected. It's like I'm not gonna lie. The pictures on the website are very misconceiving than when you see them in live. So I was like, oh, this is like, she said it's like 600 people here right now. I'm like, this whole campus has 600? She's like, yeah. I'm like, wow. So then the coaching staff was great. And they actually coach because I want to be coached. Like, I'm not a coachable kid and not able to coach because not to knock off Marcel and anything they have. Like, they're still a great school, great program, but just a coaching staff wasn't meant for me. This coaching staff is meant for me. And I'm just blessed to have these kind of coaches in this time of need who actually have NFL experience, USF experience, professional experience. Like, they know the game, so they're not going to be hypocrites at the game. So it was a smooth transition through here. And, of course, everybody, as soon as you step on campus, your pride has to go out the door because I know everybody wants to make it big. Everybody wants to play UGA, Clemson. But what's meant for you is meant for you. It's still football at the end of the day. It's still NCAA. Doesn't make it any better, different, or worse. So I really love this school.
Well, Chance, I'm glad you didn't delete that email, and wound up here at Brevard College. Dalton Cole, Chancellor Lee Parker, opportunity here for shout outs or thank yous before we let you guys go and get back to your preparations for Maryville. Dalton Cole, kick us off. Shout outs or thank yous?
First things first, of course, my family. They travel and pack. We go everywhere, regardless of how far away we go. So, of course, I appreciate that. And I know a lot of them are watching, if not now. They're always watching online at the games as well. So thanks for my family. And, of course, all my teammates and coaches. I couldn't do anything that I do on this team without it. So I appreciate all of y'all.
Well said. Chancellor Lee Parker, same opportunity for you. Shout outs or thank yous?
Yes, same goes here. I want to thank all my family, my mom, my sister, grandma, granddad, and uncle, those specifically. I thank y'all for making, all the sacrifices y'all made for me to be here, for me to just flourish as a student, as a man, as a player. I thank y'all. And I know y'all going to keep rewatching this over and over and over. So I thank you, all y'all individually and teammates as well. Y'all gave me a warm welcome. Y'all made me feel like I was one of the guys I've been here for years, but only been here for a few months. I thank y'all. Y'all made me feel like I actually belong here and not like astray or isolate me or anything. Y'all made me feel like one of the guys. And the friends back home, the ones I gave a link to and watching, I thank y'all. I actually appreciate y'all. Don't think I know it's only a few people, but I appreciate y'all. And I want y'all to know it from the bottom of my heart. I absolutely appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Very good. Well, glad you were able to join the program this evening. Great job, Chancellor Lee Parker and Dalton Cole. Good luck versus Maryville. We can't wait to see you guys back at Islamel Family Field November the 5th as well versus Belhaven. Thanks for joining the program, fellas.
Thank you for having us.
All right, there they go. We're going to quickly switch gears here now and go to the soccer pitch and talk some men's soccer. Joining the program now, Coach L. Dana. Coach Dana, thanks for joining the show.
Hey, Phil, how are you, man?
Doing great, thank you. And Coach, do want to catch up on the Tornadoes since we saw you last. You've been thick in the action of the USA South Conference play. There was a non-conference game, sprinkled in there, that win over Warren Wilson 1-0. And now we're at the home stretch. 2 final games versus Greensboro and William Peace. Final 2 games of the regular season as teams jockey for position for postseason play in the USA South Conference tournament. Can you catch NATO Nation up on exactly where we're at right here and now with men's soccer?
Sure. We're sitting at 4th right now, but we're a game behind pretty much everybody above us. And it's a little bit of a mixed feelings because we've already clinched. So we made the tournament. Exactly where we're going to finish this week is going to dictate. But we had a couple of pretty gut-wrenching losses that we were really in charge of the game the whole time and let it slip by, that otherwise we would have actually won the regular season. But you can't complain. We're still actually capable of finishing second. We could be as high as second, as low as fifth. So you know how it goes. You take one game at a time, and at this point, we're all about the next.
Yeah, 9-5-1 overall, 3-2 in USA South Conference play, and one game at a time, Coach. First up, Greensboro back here at Islamel Family Field, 7 p.m. under the lights. Can you help us preview that matchup versus Greensboro on Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, we're still young in this conference, so it's hard for us to say that there's a built-in rivalry, but this is one that the kids have been looking forward to, because there's been we weren't able to play them last year, but there's been a couple of times we've played them, that one of those nagging soccer games that you look at the numbers and you're like, how did you not win this game? And so yeah, we got a little bit of we're looking forward to this one, but trust me, it will be a tough one.
And then this Saturday, Coach, the regular season finale at Ives Lamel Family Field versus William Peace. It's a 2 p.m. start time, followed by a women's game after. And it's senior day for both the men's and women's soccer programs. Another great senior class, Coach. I know you're proud of this group. Love for your comments on this year's senior class.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the game itself were really two very nice teams. Easily, we could be the top two teams in the conference, definitely top three. So it should be a really good game for people to watch. But we got some nice numbers of people graduating this year. Things kind of it's a mixture of carryovers of the COVID year, and on top of some people that actually transferred in many classes or many hours, and it's kind of funny because not all of these seniors actually will be gone. Some of them will exercise their COVID year to come either to do graduate work or extend their playing time. But in no sequence whatsoever, we have one who is actually a first-year player, Brady Tash, but will be graduating will be a senior because he's a graduate student. So he's exhausting his eligibility. One of our through-and-through leaders and top players, Sam O'Callaghan. He's a true senior. Actually, still has eligibility. I wish we had certain majors to keep him here. Tino Onero, has been here as a transfer with us for 2-3 years. Luis Dos Santos, who is coming back to do graduate work, thankfully. Francesco Bonamati, he was in the show, I believe, this year, but if not, has been on the show. Also a transfer. Tristan Wallace, who actually has been here throughout his career. So probably, let's see here, the first one that is a 4-year letterman. Giuseppe Real, who is also a transfer, so he's exhausting eligibility. Christian Ramsey, he probably will come back, but is a through 4-year letterman. Miles Schaefer, also a 4-year letterman. Daniel Ribeiro, who is a transfer. Then we have the guys with the reserves. We have Riley Freeman, Scott Douglas, that you know well, that is part of your staff. Brian Cardona, Noah Martin, and Jesus Martinez. These guys are all 4-year lettermen. So it's a big class. Lots of great things that these guys done, and I'm looking forward to some of them going on to do some great things, but I'm also happy that some of them are coming back.
Outstanding. And hopefully NATO Nation, you all can come on out to Islamel Family Field on Saturday as we honor those seniors. We'll also be showing you all the festivities on the broadcast as well. And Coach, you touched on the reserves program. They wrapped up their season this past week, an 8-game schedule. We were able to broadcast that last game and kind of take a close look at the reserve squad. I know you're proud of this group. They contribute so much to the program in ways that are unseen often. And Coach Mario Pinto has been doing a great job running the show there as well.
And they're on the field as we speak. You know, the lights are on, and that's why Mario is not on the show. These guys love practicing. I've never been around a group, and that goes also to the first team. These guys cannot get enough. And even though they don't have any more games, they didn't want to stop. We did suit up or float up or whatever you call it, called up 4 guys earlier today for our practice, and they stayed behind to practice with the reserves. We're going to suit up at least 3 of them, maybe 4 of them Wednesday. These guys, they will have the right away pretty quick, and that has been one of the best seasons. You know, people that have different philosophies with their reserves. We have a league, as you know, and some of these programs, they want to win the league, and so they keep suiting guys that are actually in the first team when they need a win, you know. And we did not do that the whole year long, and we did it on purpose because we wanted to develop these players, and that will make them more ready next year, even this coming semester. So there's a ton of talent there. Next time we talk about the next seniors and the next generation, you will hear their names because they're doing things the right way, and they will be more than prepared for the next season.
Outstanding. And Coach, you also mentioned Scott Douglas, who not only is one of those seniors who's going to be honored, a part of that reserves team this season, but also a very talented broadcaster who's been working on his skills as far as the broadcasting side of things. He's a theater major here at Brevard College, and he was able to sit down with you, Coach, and you know, we're able to reveal tonight, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., so Tuesday at 10 a.m., on the YouTube channel for Brevard College Tornado Athletics, there will be a premiere of Tornado Spotlight hosted by Scott Douglas. We're looking to do this on a regular basis with different personalities around campus. And the first ever episode, Coach, is with you, who I know Scott wanted to make that happen because, you know, you were such a big part of him coming here to Brevard and so forth. But would love to hear you help us promote and preview this new program that's going to debut tomorrow, hosted by Scott.
Yeah, the star of the show is him, you know, and he you just nailed it. He's talented. He can do whatever he wants when he finishes, and I'm trying to push him to go into the direction of being you know, in the broadcasting and sports world. But he's so talented. Who knows? We might see him on Netflix or in the movies. But we're very, very blessed to have interacted with him for 4 years. You know, on the field, off the field, and in front of the camera. I have no doubts, and you've been a great mentor to him, and I have no doubts he's going to make us proud. And it's hard to see those guys go, but you almost want that butterfly to fly because you know great things are going to come.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's going to do great things, whatever he decides to do exactly. But can't wait to enjoy the premiere of this show, and really want to urge, you know, all the Tornado fans out there, if you haven't done so already, find that YouTube channel. You might be watching this program on it. Subscribe, hit that little bell. You'll see the notification tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. When the video premieres live. And thanks, Coach L, for being a part of that inaugural episode. Well, Coach, stick with us just a couple more moments. We're going to bring in a couple of your student athletes here to Tornado Talk. As joining the program now, Daniel Morgan and also Facundo Sunhary. Coach Dana, before we let you go, help introduce these 2 student athletes to Tornado Nation.
Yeah, it's funny how things lined up today, because there's 2 guys here that came under the assumption of a certain position and got shuffled to another position and are doing great in that new role. Facundo came as a forward, Facundo Sunhary, and he's from Uruguay, and came as a forward. And pretty quick, we started noticing certain traits on him that led us to move him to midfield. And he never looked back. And I tell him, man, he's tough as nails as a midfielder. And Daniel Morgan from England, freshman, came in as a center back, and we've had a couple of injuries and situations that we were searching for another big body to be up front, you know, sometimes along with Lynch and Luis. But man, the first day that we put him up there, it was even in practice. The guy scored 5 goals and went on to score, I think, 2-3 games in a row. So there you have it, you know. So we're blessed to have both of them.
Very good, Coach. Well, we can't wait to see the team back in action on Wednesday night and then Saturday for Senior Day, home stretch of this regular season. I know these are critical matchups, and we urge NATO Nation to come on out and root on this men's soccer team. Coach, thanks for joining the program.
Thank you.
All right, there he goes, Coach El Dana, and he was able to help us introduce these two to the program. Daniel Morgan, thanks for joining the show, Daniel.
Thanks.
And Facundo Sunhary on the program as well. Facundo, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you for having me, Phil.
Well, Facundo, let's start with you. Coach mentioned the new position for you and how it's worked out so well. From your perspective, can you tell us about that transition and what it's been like?
Yes, well, when I first arrived, my position was as a forward, as the coach said. But then I was not playing that much time. I was looking for another position, and about in the COVID season, some guys were affected, and I was there. And the coach told me to try that position. It was very new for me, so I tried, and I surprised how well I do it on the field. So I continue playing there for the rest of the seasons.
Outstanding. And Daniel Morgan, a newcomer on the team, freshman from England. Daniel, tell us how the experience has been so far, starting your collegiate career here at Brevard College and being a part of this team.
Yeah, it's been different from what I've been used to, adjusting to the soccer, different from back home, playing on probably nicer pitches, but playing with a lot of people from all over the world, which is a lot different. Different languages being used.
Yeah, expound on that just a little bit. What are some of the biggest differences you notice as far as the play in England versus what you're experiencing here?
Back home, it's probably a bit more physical. Maybe sometimes less technical, but still we try and keep the ball on the ground, play it more, whereas back home there's quite often long balls, big challenges going in, not so much here.
And Facundo, Daniel touched on it a little bit. It's such an incredibly international roster. You guys come from all parts of the globe, and part of it is, not only the different nationalities and the different languages, but the different styles of soccer and the different strengths that each of you brings. Can you talk about that a little bit? How you guys have different styles, but it all works when you guys come together as a team.
Yes, I think that every guy that came from, Europe, we have from South America, we have from Americans here, and they have different style of play. Like Brazilians like more to make their plays, and in Europe style they pass a little bit more. Like in England, they have a good hair too. So there are a lot of different types of positionings and players, and that's really good for us because it connects us to play better and to improve in our game. So we have a lot of different styles in the game.
And Daniel, I'd like to reflect back to Southern Virginia, when in the 80th minute, the game was 0-0 and you were able to take a ball that was set up to you by Sam O'Callahan and find the back of the net to ultimately help the Tornadoes win 1-0. First collegiate goal on U.S. soil. Can you relive that moment for us? What it felt like and how it kind of went down, because a lot of us weren't able to see it happen since it was up there in Virginia.
Yeah, well, it was my first game moving up to the striker position, and obviously late on in the game, and we'd been all over Southern Virginia. We'd had plenty. I think we'd had in the 20s of shots. And finally, so for me, when the ball came in, the defender sort of missed it and it fell, and I just placed it under the keeper. Nothing special really, but it was more just relief when it went in. Finally got that goal for the team and weren't having to chase the game anymore.
Yeah, no doubt. And Facundo, when one of your teammates scores, the sense I get is that the whole team, it's a celebration for the team, not just the player who scores. And I see you guys celebrate as a group, every player who's on the field and even the ones on the sideline. What does that feel like, whenever a goal happens for the Tornadoes and we're able to hit that siren here at Isla Mel Family Field? What's that feel like as a player on the field?
Well, I saw like in first person the Daniel's first goal, and it was amazing because I went running to him and to hug him and to congratulate him. And I really like about the team that we feel really passionate for the soccer. We all love to play. We are like a family in the team. And when someone scores, we are really happy for the team and of course for him. So I love the passion of this team.
Two very important matches this week, and it's going to determine a lot as far as what the tournament is going to look like in the USA South Conference. Daniel, we'll start with you. What are you guys working on as a team, mentality? Also, what are the coaches telling you as far as what you all are going to have to do this week to get a couple of W's?
Yeah, really just working on putting our chances away because, as I say, we create enough of them. And just getting that final product in the back of the net. And then we know we're capable of doing it, and just that one little jigsaw piece to finish it off.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, and easier said than done sometimes. It's tough to find that either that go-ahead goal or sometimes, if necessary, the equalizer. But I know you guys are working really hard to make that happen this week. Facundo, team ready for this week? Exciting part of the year coming down the home stretch. You guys feel ready?
Yes, I think we are ready, and we are really possible to win the two games. They are really important for us because we are in fourth position right now, but winning those games is really important to get us to the playoff and probably to host a game that is much better to play at home than away with our people.
Very good. Before we let you go, Facundo, tell us what you're up to in the classroom. What are you majoring in? What are you working on at Brevard College academically?
My major is business right now. I'm a junior. I have one more year to go, so I'm planning to graduate in December 2023. I'm really happy about the classes. The professors are really nice, and I love the way that they teach the topics.
Very good. Appreciate that. And Daniel, a freshman, so you certainly don't have to have all the answers right now, but tell us a little bit what you've been working on in the classroom.
I'm majoring in business. So just getting used to doing general education classes again, adjusting into it. It's all been good. People have helped us all so far. I'm liking it. It's different.
Very good. Yeah, in looking forward to seeing you all back in action this weekend. And I told your teammates this, with all the different countries represented, I can't wait to watch some World Cup soccer with you all in a few weeks. It's going to be interesting hanging out with the Tornadoes when the world comes together for the World Cup. So we'll have to do a special edition maybe for a World Cup edition with you guys. But it's been great to have you on the show. Before we let you go, any shout outs or thank yous each of you would like to make to anyone who might be watching or just someone who's helped you along the way? Facundo, kick us off.
Yes, I would like to do a big shout out to my uncle. That is his birthday today, so happy birthday to him. And of course to my family and my girlfriend that they are all to me and they're always supporting me in everything. So thank you for all that they do.
Very good. Same opportunity for you, Daniel. Shout outs or thank yous?
Yeah, just to my mom and dad and just the rest of my family who stay up late, watch the games when they can. So just, showing support back home.
That's a very good point, Daniel, for yourself and for some of the other players from different parts of the world. The time zones can be a challenge. So we appreciate, the NATO nation tuning in from wherever they may be at any given hour. So appreciate that, Daniel, that mentioned there. Well, Daniel Morgan, Facundo Sunhary, thank you for joining the show. We can't wait to see you on Wednesday night at Lamel Family Field. Best of luck this week and beyond. And great job on the show this evening, fellas.
Thank you, Phil.
All right. Thanks, guys. And appreciate them and all of our guests this evening. We had guests from women's soccer, from football, from men's soccer, and we were able to preview all that's going on here at Brevard College, a big week that's going to cap off with a couple of senior days for men's and women's soccer on Saturday. Best of luck to the football team as they head to Maryville on Saturday. Best of luck to the volleyball team as they wind down their season on the road this week. Cross country at the USA South Conference Championships. And big thanks once again to all who made the 14th annual BC Tornadoes Open possible. Fantastic event to support the student athletes here at Brevard College. And want to thank you, NATO Nation, for continuing to tune in. And be sure tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to check out the YouTube premiere of the new program, Tornado Spotlight, hosted by Scott Douglas, a student athlete here at Brevard College, and featuring for the inaugural episode, Coach L. Dana, the head men's soccer coach. That's tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. on the YouTube channel. Well, I want to thank all those behind the scenes, including Roya Tomasabi and Joseph Marvin pushing all the buttons. And can't wait to see you again for another edition of Tornado Talk and for a Brevard College Tornado Athletics event sometime soon. Thanks for tuning in this evening, folks. Go Tornadoes.